and welcome to the second episode of Creaky Pines podcast, a podcast dedicated to knitting, sewing, and just general craftiness. So again, I just want to welcome new viewers, and I want to thank and welcome back any previous viewers from, oh my gosh, that first episode. So if you're able to stick through that first episode and come back, I thank you so much. If you want to follow me on Instagram, you can find me at Creaky Pines, and on Ravelry, I am BethanyMeeker, which again, my name is Bethany, by the way. Very creative. Oh goodness. So first of all, I do believe yesterday, I'm recording Monday, July 2nd. So yesterday was, I think, Canada Day. So if I'm wrong, please, Canadian friends, correct me, but happy Canada Day. And by the time I probably get this up, happy 4th of July for my fellow Americans. So hopefully you guys have some fun plans, hence the red, white, and blue a little bit today. Plus it's a bit too warm to wear any knitted garb like I wanted to, but we'll save that for another day. So let's go ahead and dive into my works in progress, because I have no finished objects yet, but that's okay. What is the phrasing? Prego brain's really getting to me today. Slow and steady wins the race, that's right. So I'm slowly working through the projects that I have going. So without further ado, let's see here. Let's catch you up on what is living in my alpaca bag or llama bag. Either way, they're cute and adorable. I think I will always wonder which one it is and continue to say it over and over again on the podcast every time I bring it up. But that's okay. It's adorable, and I made it. So yay. Alright, so here is my Boxy worsted by Locatelli, like I said last week. Obsessed. So I've made a little bit more progress on there. You can see my cute little, again, alpaca or llama charm, who knows. Again, this is my designated easy pregnancy knit. So I'm almost done with the 2 balls of yarn, or 2 skeins of yarn that I've been alternating between, which is Malabrigo's Rios in their peachy colorway. So I might just set this aside and put it in the hospital bag, so I have something to work on while I'm there, instead of doing all the fun easy knitting at knit nights. But yeah, I am super excited about this. Like I said, I'm almost out of my first 2 skeins. I still have quite a ways to go with this fun stockinette, but I am absolutely loving the colors. Which again, like I think I said last week, reminds me of orange sherbet, which sounds delicious right now. Not only because I'm pregnant and I'm craving all the sweet things, but also because it's really hot out, and some ice cream or something nice and cool would be wonderful to have right now. So again, living in the alpaca / llama bag is the worsted Boxy by Hoki. Alright, so what's up next, living in my feeling super fine bag, is one that I cast on earlier this year using some fun stash yarn. And it's the, how I pronounce it. I know I looked this up earlier today, so I could tell you. The Teolai cardigan by Patricia Cox. I found this in the Lena magazine issue number 3, which was actually my first issue that I got that introduced me to this magazine, and which sent me down the rabbit hole of addiction to it. But that's okay. So I have been working on the back panel. I think I have maybe 3 more inches of pattern repeat until I start shaping for the shoulders and the armholes and all that good stuff. But it's just a nice, easy, textured pattern. Just lots of knits and pearls. But I love how it has like the box stitch on the side, in the center, and then on the other side, all framing this wonderful V, this V print, which is really fun. And the yarn is Malabrigo worsted in their Sweet Grape colorway. I happen to have like 8 skeins of this on hand because back at the beginning of my knitting adventure, so 3 years ago, I wanted to do this shawl pattern that I got out of a magazine, again before I knew what Ravelry was. And it had all these detailed cablings, and I absolutely loved doing the cabling, but then it got to the point I was 2 skeins in and I realized, nah, I don't really like this anymore. It's taking me like an hour to do one row, and it was just a rectangular shawl, but it was just, I just wasn't in love with it anymore. So I ripped it all back, I frogged it, which I am apparently in a habit of frogging everything, if you recall from my last episode with my Lane's cardigan by Hoagie. I love to frog stuff. But at least I am reusing this yarn. It's not just sitting there anymore, so it'll go into a nice big oversized boyfriend cardigan, and it's going to be so cozy to wear. I'm hoping I'll have it done by fall, so that would be ideal. I can't remember if, oh, and it has pockets on the front. Oh my goodness, I love me some pockets. So for them to be on my cardigan, that's going to be so exciting. Yeah, it's the little things in life that get you excited, and for me it happens to be pockets. So yeah. Oh, and here is a caked up skein of the Sweet Grape colorway. It's just a fun dark purpley color, and it makes me happy. So I'm very excited about that. Like I said, I have like 8 skeins of it just waiting to go. So that is my, when you look at the pronunciation again, Teolai cardigan by Patricia Cox. So, super excited. Okay. And even though I already have like 6 projects going that I'm slowly rotating through, I totally had to cast on a new project. Yeah. Thankfully, again, using from my stash, trying to be a bit more conscientious about that. I casted on the new Madeleine shawl by Solenn Couix-Loarer. Of course, I'll put everything up on the screen for you. I just needed, I think she just released the pattern. I happened to follow her on Instagram, so I was able to get a free promo code for it. It was like, I think she had it out for just a couple days, but I was super excited I was able to snag that. And yeah, it's just a garter stitch triangular shawl with some lace patterning in it, and then ending with, so it goes like a big chunk triangle of garter stitch. Around the bottom edge you'll have some lace, and then finishing that out with some more garter stitch. So easy peasy knitting, which is what I'm kind of craving right now. And so yeah, this is what I have cast on so far. So I started by casting on 180 stitches, and then to get the triangle I'm just decreasing on both ends every right-sided row, which is why I have my little stitch marker on here, not only to keep my progress, but to also remind me which side's my right side. I can get confused sometimes, especially when you're dealing with garter stitch. But I'm super excited about this little stitch marker, progress keeper, excuse me, because this is a little charm that I found on sale at my local box store, or craft box store, and it just made the cutest little progress keeper. Super excited about that. So yeah, the yarn that I am using I picked up at the alpaca show that came to town, I think back in March. Oh, it was so exciting. There were all the cute little alpacas. It was like an actual showing of the alpacas along with a little bit of vendors in the same area, but they were so cute and so fluffy. It just made my heart sing. But I did splurge and get one skein of alpaca yarn while I was there. And this is actually from a local alpaca farm. See, I'm in central Illinois, so they're maybe 2 hours south, I want to say, almost to the southern border of Illinois. But it was really nice to support a local-ish company or farm, because it was just a couple ladies running the stand. But this is the Spotted Circus is their brand. This is their Paca Silk blend in their silver gray colorway, and it's just a nice light gray. So it is 80%, I think they called it 20 micron alpaca with 20% mulberry silk, which is where, if you can see in, oops, if you can see in the strand that you have like those little white nodules. I think that's the silky part, but it is, oh my gosh, and it's fingering weight, and it's just a dream to knit with. It's not, you can tell it's kind of rustic because the consistency of the thickness of the strand isn't the same throughout. Somewhere you'll get maybe like a little bit of a thin spot, but otherwise it's mostly fingering weight. But very excited about this. It's about, I think they said 420 yards, or yeah, yards. My only concern with this is that I'm not going to have enough of that to do the entire shawl in the gray. And I checked their Etsy store, and they're kind of on hiatus right now, so my worry is I'm going to want to do it all in the gray, and then I'm going to run out and I'm not going to be able to finish it because their store isn't open right now. So I'm thinking possibly when I get to the lace panel, the lace section, I might switch to a different colorway that I have, or another stashed fingering weight yarn that I have. And I have a couple in mind. One is a natural undyed fingering weight wool that I have, that I actually started another project with, which I'm not liking anymore, so I'm probably going to end up frogging that too, and kind of using that in like the lace section. And then for that final garter stitch row, if I have enough, go back to, oh, excuse me, the gray or onto a different color. Depending on when I cast on the cardigan that I showed you last week, the Branches and Buds pullover, how it had that that pink in it. Depending on how much pink I have there, I might use that for the bottom edging too, so that way it's a 3-color shawl instead of just all gray, or maybe just gray, white, and then gray, but who knows, we'll see. I also have some tonal blues that I could throw in there, but again, when we get to that spot, I will hopefully make a decision and let you guys know. So yeah, that is, oh gosh, this is going to be a very short episode because that's all I've been working on right now on my needles. Like I said, I have like a whole rotation works in progress that I'm going through, and it's just depending on how I feel for the day. Do I want easy knitting? Do I want some color work? Yeah, so like I said, just switching it on through. Right now I've just been craving some really easy knits, which is fine. So I guess I will move on to Chit Chat, or just talking about my life, if you care to stick around. If not, Thank you for getting through this itty bitty episode with me. So yeah, moving on to Chit Chat. Oh my goodness. So last week was my last week of work. I'm officially on maternity leave. Let's see here, we have less than a week until our due date, which is, our due date's the 8th of July, so next Sunday. So yeah, we'll see what happens between now and then. So we have the nursery all set up, we have both bags packed and ready to go for the hospital, we have the car seat set up in the car. It's just a waiting game now, and I've just been sitting in the house kind of like twiddling my thumbs. So I've just been on a massive cleaning kick right now, which I guess, you know, is part of the whole nesting thing, but I've been seriously cleaning. You know, as capable as I am, I get a little out of breath right now, but again, I'm about to pop. So yeah, exciting stuff. So everything with the baby is doing great. We can't wait to meet her. Jared, my hubby, goes on vacation at the end of this week, so that way he's home with the baby. So yeah, it's just a waiting game right now. And along with all of our cleaning, we've really taken a step back and kind of looked at the way we've been accruing, or what's another term for accruing? Not so much gathering stuff, but it's just kind of been building up over the summer and the spring. And it's really made us rethink about our principles in terms of minimalism. So we're kind of back on a minimalism kick, and it kind of helps that I've been rereading some of my books about it. So I've really been back into Simple Matters, which is just it's just a nice little book by Erin Boyle. It's called Simple Matters, Living with Less and Ending Up with More. So it's kind of helped me go through and purge a lot of things from our house that aren't, you know, really working well for us anymore, in terms of function and aesthetic. And it's been great. It feels like a weight has been lifted off, especially since we've been our house has felt really cluttered, especially since we've been gathering up all the baby things that we're going to need, and we had to wait until Jared could get the nursery done to finally get everything like shifted around the house into its proper place. Now we're feeling a bit more calm, it feels more open, it doesn't feel so claustrophobic. But I am absolutely loving this book. I've had it for about a year and a half or so, and this is probably like the third time I've read through it. So it's just kind of a nice reminder. She has some beautiful imagery in here. I'm a sucker for pretty things and pretty imagery, and so this book definitely has it. But also has some really good tricks and tips, and some recipes, not for eating, recipes for cleaning. Yeah, I've switched to cleaning my house with almost nothing but baking soda and distilled white vinegar. Yeah, it's a lot of fun. But this is a knitting podcast, not a cleaning podcast. But I just wanted to let you know that this is what I've been reading lately. So yeah. With that being said, like I said, this is going to be a very, very short podcast, but I just kind of wanted to get into the rhythm of attempting to podcast weekly, whether or not I had a whole lot to share. So I just want to thank you all for sticking through, again, coming to the second episode of Creaky Pines. Again, you can find me on Instagram at Creaky Pines and on Ravelry as BethanyMeeker. So yeah, I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday week, and I will see you guys next time. Happy knitting!